Hey guys, Alpha Fish here. Welcome back to another Lord's Mobile video. And today we will be talking about monster chests. And basically how to get these monster chests. So, as many of you guys already know, I am free to play. And the best way to get decent gear in this game, especially like your end game long term gear set, is by getting these things. And yeah, I have a few of these champion chests from events. I don't have very many, and I usually don't even bother opening them because I'm not planning on making champ gear. Um, so yeah, let's get right to it. So starting out, the best way to get these things, in my opinion, is Kingdom versus Kingdom, any kind of KVK event, usually Solo War, has a ton of these. And speaking of which, we have an event this weekend, and it starts in about 4 hours. Yeah, about 4 hours. So, what you want to do is gather a bunch or hit a bunch of tiles. I actually have another video on how to complete Solo War, like every time. And Solo War is the best way to get chests unless you're spending money. So, the reason I wanted to talk about these specifically is because some people some people try to say that, oh, you have to open one at a time, or you have to open 50 at a time, or 100 at a time. And then you have all these YouTubers that are looking at other people's accounts and opening up like hundreds of chests, thousands of chests, and they're opening them at 20 at a time, 50 at a time, 100 at a time. And I feel like I feel like this is like, how do I put this? So I feel like there is a lot of confusion. So what I want to point out is the drop rates or spawn rates of items whenever you open a chest, okay? Those do not change. No matter how many chests you open at one time, that will never change. And there's nothing you can do to increase that or decrease that or anything like that, right? I mean, there are the laws of probability, which the more so laws of probability is doing things in succession without stopping increases your chances of getting what you want. Which I agree with this. That's I mean that's a law of probability. So if you're rolling a six-sided die, you're more than likely to get the number 6 out of 6 rolls if you constantly do it rather than if you roll it and completely stop and then come back and roll it later. It's just something to do with probability. Um, so, in my opinion, I think if you open up a bunch of chests, you could be more likely to get rare, like better materials. But because this is a video game, I'm not sure. I don't think that the laws of probability really apply to this because who knows what the system does behind, like the coding. You never know. The game could easily increase the or decrease the drop rate, the more chests you open. We don't know what IGG does in the coding of this game. They post some kind of drop rate, and if that drop rate's true for like the first 1,000 chests you open, and then it gets harder to get better stuff the more you open, who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying that there's not really a right way to do this. And I've asked YouTubers that are live streaming and opening up chests. I've asked them, why are you only opening up 50 chests at a time? And honestly, I don't like their tone. They get rude with me and they're like, oh, well, if I open up fast, then the live stream won't last as long. And I'm like, that's not my problem. I want to see the difference in drop rates because everyone says if you open this amount, you get good drops. If you open this amount, you get better drops. I want to see that, but they all open at different rates. But my personal opinion, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if you open one chest at a time or if you open 50 at a time or 100 at a time. Me personally, I open 30 at a time just because I don't like waiting until I have a stack of 100 chests. And I think 30 is a good amount to open at once. I get a good chunk of materials, and I can look at them and see what I have or whatever. And so that's what I do personally. But if I have a stack bigger than 30, I'll just open them all at once. I just don't see the point of opening, say, 6 chests and you see 6 items. It just feels like a waste. I don't know. That's just me, though. It's a mental thing for me. So I open like 30 at a time, which I don't think I have any stacks of 30 or higher. I don't think I do, because I'm usually pretty good at remembering to open them or check them after I get a bunch of rewards. So, Guildfest is also coming up. Guildfest is a good way to get good chunks of these chests. Um, so make sure you max out your attempts. Make sure you get as many points as you can, within reason, of course. Because the higher your guild gets, the more gift tiers you'll get, and the more options you'll get to get chests. So, um, that's pretty much it. Those are my two. I mean, I like the rewards at Guildfest, don't get me wrong, but I hate Guildfest. And I think many of you guys probably hate Guildfest too, because it's inconvenient. It takes so long to do, especially if you have multiple accounts. It's so much work. It's just irritating. And then even if you get it all done in one day, then you have to wait the rest of the like time duration of the event to get your rewards. Like, come on. And then they throw it at you every other week, like you don't have better things to do than sit on the game and delete stupid quests every 30 minutes. Like, that's irritating. I mean, I end up promoting people to R4 just to help delete the dang quests. Like, this is irritating. But you get some good rewards out of it. It does pay off, especially when you're like, oh, look at that. 30 worm chests, 20 gargantuan chests, like you get stuff. Like, you get good rewards. You get a few gems here and there, some chisels, some speeds. So, I mean, you get good stuff. So, I do it, even though I have multiple accounts, I do it on every account because that way I have the right to yell at people that slack off and don't do it. And I just, like, guys, I have multiple accounts that I completed it on, and all of them have decent scores. You can't do a few of the tasks. So that's just me though. But I've always completed it on all of my accounts. I usually I usually get a notepad pulled up on my computer, and I enter in like how many admin and guild quests I have for each of my accounts, and then I list how many guild coins they have and how many gems that they have that I'm willing to spend on Guildfest. So I have all of that pulled up, and then whenever I see the quest refresh for Guildfest, then I'll compare it to my notepad with all of my stats written down, and I'll decide which account to log into and use that quest. So I get pretty organized with it, and it makes it go by faster. So I think I've actually shown that in one of my videos, maybe, but if not, maybe I'll do a video of it some other time. But that's how I do Guildfest. Um, it doesn't really matter how many chests you open at once. But what does matter is getting as many of these chests as you can, because the faster you get your materials, the sooner you can set your account up with some decent stats with war gear. So this is really important stuff, guys. Um, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions, comment below. Maybe I can do a video on it. Maybe I can just give you an explanation in comments. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Peace out. See you on the next one.